Every story in the Bible starts with a moment, a single moment that changes everything. For Joseph, that moment began with a dream. He wasn't just a boy, he was a dreamer. But dreams can be dangerous when the world around you doesn't see what you see. Joseph was 17, young, full of life, and maybe a little too confident for his brother's liking. Imagine this. He'd walk into their tents, his eyes bright, and say, "I had another dream last night. The sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowed down to me." You could feel the room grow cold. His brother's eyes would narrow. Even his father, Jacob, would pause, not because he didn't love Joseph, but because deep down, he wondered, could these dreams be real? Jacob loved Joseph more than any of his other sons. He gave him a special gift, a robe woven with many colors, each thread a reminder of his favor. And sometimes, favor looks like a gift from heaven, but feels like a curse on earth. The brothers' jealousy started as quiet whispers under the stars. But jealousy is like a fire. If you don't control it, it consumes everything in its path. One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on them in the fields. They saw him coming from far away. That coat, that bright, beautiful symbol of love, shone in the distance like an insult to their pain. "Here comes the dreamer," one of them sneered. "Let's kill him and see what becomes of his dreams." Reuben, the eldest, tried to stop them. "Don't shed blood," he pleaded. "Just throw him into that pit." Maybe he planned to rescue Joseph later, but by then, the idea had already taken root. They tore the robe from his back, that sacred symbol of belonging, and threw him into a dry well. The echo of his cry bounced off the stone walls, but their hearts had already turned to stone. Imagine that silence. Imagine the disbelief. Your own blood turning against you. Then, in the distance, they saw a caravan of Ishmaelite traders heading to Egypt. Judah looked up and said, "What will we gain if we kill him? Let's just sell him. He is our brother, after all." So they pulled him out of the pit, not to save him, but to sell him for 20 pieces of silver. The price of betrayal. As the traders led him away, Joseph looked back, the faces of his brothers fading into the desert haze. And for the first time, the dreamer had no dream left. Back home, the brothers dipped Joseph's torn robe in goat's blood and handed it to their father. Jacob's hands trembled as he held the fabric. His heart shattered. "My son has been devoured by a wild beast," he cried. Grief became his new language. Meanwhile, Joseph, once the favorite son, was now a slave walking toward Egypt, chained and alone, but not abandoned, because even when everyone forgets you, God remembers. Joseph's journey was far from over. He'd serve in Potiphar's house, be falsely accused, and thrown into prison, forgotten all over again. But through every betrayal and every setback, God was building something in him. This story was never just about Joseph's robe, it was about Joseph's purpose. Years later, the boy sold as a slave would stand in Pharaoh's palace, second in command of all Egypt. Then came a great famine, and the same brothers who had betrayed him traveled to Egypt, desperate for food. They stood before Joseph and bowed down to him, just like in his dream. They didn't recognize him, but he recognized them. He could have taken revenge. He could have crushed them. But instead, he wept. He forgave them. He told them, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to save many lives." And that's the part we often miss. Betrayal wasn't the end of Joseph's story. It was the beginning of God's amazing plan. Sometimes, what feels like rejection is actually redirection. Sometimes, what breaks you is what ultimately builds you. The pit, the betrayal, the loneliness, it's all part of the process. So if you feel like you're in your Joseph season right now, if you've been betrayed, forgotten, or underestimated, remember this. You don't need that old robe anymore. Because what God is about to place on you is far greater than anything anyone could ever take away.